Hey, everybody. Before we get into the show, I just want to do some housekeeping up front. I want to give you my tour dates. July 25th, we're in Des Moines, Iowa at the Teehees Comedy Club. Then we go to Barleycorns in Wichita, Kansas, July 27th. We go to Pueblo, Colorado, July 28th at the Brews Ale House. July 29th and 30th, we're in Denver, the Underground. July 29th, 30th, July 31st, we're in Boulder, and like that. And there's more. You could go to eddiepepitone.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Apocalypse Soon, the Eddie Pepitone YouTube channel, and please become a Patreon member. I think you'll want to after hearing this show, patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone. And now to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Apocalypse Soon. And now, give it up for the man. He's wearing a beautiful hat. We're excited to see him. Make it loud for Eddie Pepitone.
Thank you. We are in the end of days as Europe burns from climate warming. Fires in London, fires in France, fires in my underpants. Oh, wow. Fire. Drought. Mass shooting. Inflation. But you know what? We're gonna laugh, and we have a great show for you today. I just, again, want to reiterate, this podcast has no upside. Okay, just tell your friends, hey, mommy, this podcast has no upside. We got to listen to it. And she just hits you because she's alcoholic, right? And she just hits you and goes, I told you, just get me a martini. Well, here we are, and let's get this show rolling. I want to introduce our band leader. Please welcome Bobby and the Mephistophelians.
Hey, how you doing there, Pepitone?
Oh, Bobby, I'm good. You know, everything is heating up out there.
Oh, it's getting hot. It's getting real hot.
It's getting hot, and I don't know about you, Bob, but what I like to do is watch a little video about how Greenland is having glaciers melt at record pace. And that means, like they said, that glaciers melted already this year. All of I think they said all of Virginia or West Virginia would be covered in water.
Good God, that's not great unless you get your swim trunks. You know what I mean?
You see, this is why I like you, Bob, is that you do look on the bright side.
You got to do it. You know, I like a body of water. You know what I mean? What, am I crazy?
We're mostly water, no?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I thought we're 98% water.
Mostly water.
Isn't that...
We need more, though. I always say we need more water.
Well, we need more water out in the West. The Salt Lake has dried up.
Not good.
Not good.
Now,
I went to Salt Lake City, but I have a sodium problem, yet I still went to Salt Lake City.
Is that true?
What?
You got a sodium problem?
Yeah, I have a sodium problem. Who doesn't? I love salt, Bob.
Oh, God, give me a salt. You know what? I used to go hunting with my father when I was a boy. And
that's, by the way, I just picture you without a vaccine.
Oh.
You know, going into the woods, and there's all kind of animals now that are carrying viruses, and you're just out there with your dad.
Oh, me and Pop out
ready
there.
To blow their brains off, out.
He would always say, watch out for the deer ticks, you know, because the deer ticks, they carry Lyme disease and all that kind of shit. And we were raised Christian Scientists, so we don't go to the doctor. We refuse. But I remember the salt licks would be out there to attract the deer. Oh. And my father, he would always make fun of me. He would call me a doe. Because I go out there, I start licking the salt lick myself, you know. And he goes, it's for the deer, boy. It's for the deer. And I go, Dad, why can't please let me just lick the salt lick? You know, I got one pleasure in life. He says, you're showing your weakness again, you pussy. And I used to hate it when he used to call me that. But you know.
Yeah. Well, Bob, you know, you like your salt, and a salt lick is a very concentrated. amount of salt, isn't
So
it?
good. I got one hanging over my bed that I use in the morning. And I get up, I have a couple of licks, and it pops me
And
up.
it pops you right up. I
gets
think
me
it's
going.
good for electrolytes. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Nobody knows. If you're not a scientist, how are you going to know these things? And I want to talk to America 1 second, or wherever this podcast is being played. Science, especially here in America, is no longer something we go by. A fact is, here's how a fact is determined: how intensely we feel something is right. Is that right, Bob?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why a lot of these scientists come up fixing their glasses.
Yeah, they're
and
fixing their glasses.
Who knows what the fuck they're saying? I'm sure it's been tested and whatnot. But look, I'm like, why aren't you screaming if it's so true that you've done these tests?
Right.
I don't know what's going on, but I see somebody.
Right.
I know it's
Post
true.
it. If you want something to be true, post a fucking thing on social media.
Put your finger in someone's sternum. You know what I mean? That's how when you
I see what you're
tell them
saying. You threw me with sternum.
I apologize.
No, it's just
I like
that-
to name the bones. I love the bones of the body.
You ever watch Bones?
Oh, great show.
I never saw
Great.
it.
Oh, really?
I never saw it. I was up for a couple of parts
Really?
on Bones. I was up for the femur,
Oh,
and I was up for the ankle bone.
I figured you'd be more one of the metatarsal kind of guys, because you're
Where's the
dexterous.
metatarsals?
That's the
again?
finger bones.
Ooh, I love a metatarsal.
I love me a finger bone.
I love a finger bone.
Bone down with the finger bones. I used to.
Bone down.
That's a band I was in junior high. My first band, the Finger Bones.
Well, Bob, you are, again, you're a stalwart here at Apocalypse
Thank you.
Soon.
Thank you.
The band never takes a day off.
Can't do it.
Whether or not you guys test positive, you don't know if you're positive because you don't give a fuck.
No.
And if you spread it, you spread it.
Well,
right?
that's the nice thing about the sound booths that they put us in here at the studio. We're behind glass here, so
We're behind glass, like a pheasant under glass.
Perfect, exactly.
By the
That's
way,
it.
who the fuck has ever ordered pheasant under glass? I mean, I've heard that a lot, but you don't go into a diner, especially the diners that me and you
Oh yeah.
have gone into.
That you can't get a pheasant on a glass at Denny's. You know what I mean? Which is
Right.
a real
Do you
bummer.
go into Denny's and go, you know what, instead of the moon over, what is it? Moon
My
over,
Miami.
Miami, which, by the way, Denny's, these puns do not make up for the fact that all your employees are in death's door and
God.
playing Russian roulette smoking cigarettes in the back.
I get so comfortable with the sound of a revolving, with the
With the Russian roulette
Yeah, I get,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's like, all the tragedies in the world. It's like that, Before you know it, somebody comes over, they go, "What's that sound of the clicking and the spinning?" And I go,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's just a Russian roulette."
It's just a Russian roulette.
No big deal. It's just the
Russian
Denny's
roulette.
employees.
Let's see if I live another day. All right, well, Bobby, thank you for being here. And now let's bring in our producer, Mr. Kevin Tinkin. Kevin.
Hey, how you doing, Eddie?
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Oh, I'm just clinging, clinging to life, over here.
Me too.
And just, doing my best. I got a little bit of the gout's been acting up lately, and I
Do you have gout?
I get the-
don't know if you're kidding.
I
or not.
really do have the gout. I've had it since I was in my
Listen,
20s.
this is an old school podcast.
That's right.
Me and Kevin get old school diseases. He has gout. I have beriberi. All right? I have beriberi and I have scurvy. You ever get scurvy?
Oh,
It's a vitamin C deficiency.
when I was going on the seas, a lot of the times they'd forget the lemon tree, and I'd get the scurvy sometimes. It's no good.
Yeah, but gout, I've had a few friends. Kyle Kinane went through a gout
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
My friend Frank went through a gout thing. Gout. I only know oh no, that's grout. What you put in between tiles.
It's hard to but
That's
it's like
grout.
having grout between your joints. The
Is
gout.
it?
Yeah, it really is.
painful?
Oh yeah, it's not good at all.
And it means you're eating too much red meat? What does it mean?
Well, I mean, this is
Now, the way you cough there, it sounds like you're about to reveal something a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
You don't
no,
have to.
No, it's it has to do with my intake of pornography. It's you ingest too much foods that have purine in it, and then you can't flush it out.
Purine?
Purine, which turns into uric acid, and the
What's
uric
purine?
acid. Purine, it's in everything. It's in a lot of things, but it's in red meats, but it's also in like asparagus. It's in.
Wait a minute. You can get gout from asparagus?
Yes.
Let me
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to the people. What the fuck? All of you asparagus eaters, you have gout. Okay? And the asparagus farmers are promoting gout. Oh, everybody wants to blame, eating 6 or 7 ribeyes a day, right? Or a porterhouse. A lot of people have 3-4 porterhouses a day if they have money.
Oh, so good.
If you have it with asparagus, that's going to push it over into gout, isn't it?
Absolutely. If you're like me and you want sardines and scallops, you're fucked.
Sardines and scallops.
I'm telling you.
Do you ever do that for real?
No, well, I do
okay.
scallops. I do the
Yeah.
scallops, but I love pork and all that shit. I'm a piece of. I mean, I feel guilty, about all the meats that I ingest, but I love it, and I've had to back it off because of the gout, and I know all the
Yeah.
viewers at home
Yeah.
have been waiting
Look.
for this conversation.
Well, no, they should get to know us.
That's true.
Underneath Kevin talking about his gout, if we can legally do it, we're going to play Getting to Know, very lightly, Getting to Know You, Getting to Hear. Now, you want to know about me a little bit? He has gout. I have panic attacks, and they're claustrophobic related. Do you know that sometimes I panic in an elevator? Getting to know you, getting to feel all about you. And you want to know something else? I also like to stick my hand in a... Yeah, that one was bleeped. Use your imagination. I like to stick my hand in a...
Yeah.
All right, we have a great show. Europe is on fire. I'm going on tour. I'm gonna be going, and you know what? I looked online, and I don't mean to brag about that I have a Wi-Fi connection that at any moment can be cut. But I looked online, and I'm going to be flying into Denver when it's 97 degrees, and there's
Yikes.
high altitude, and I've gotten over COVID rather recently, and I'm just a little nervous, and
Well, I mean, there's lots of hospitals out there.
There's a lot of and when I'm nervous, I tend to urinate. I don't know
Is that
what the
right?
hell that's about. Yeah, if anybody else tends to urinate. By the way, can people start sending us some fucking emails? What's the email address?
EddiePepPodcast@gmail.com. We need those emails. And also,
All we get is spam.
it's really not good. It's not healthy for two men that are, let's be honest, here on the brink of despair constantly.
Well, you have gout.
I got the gout.
I urinate in elevators.
Yeah.
I mean, I get claustrophobia. I am not sure. I have anyway.
You've probably gotten claustrophobic and then urinated in an elevator at least once or twice, right?
Yeah. Well, everything goes haywire. Now I don't have that claustrophobia anymore with elevators. I had it for elevators and subways.
Really?
When I was in New York for a while, and I had to go on medication. And let me talk to you about medication. If you're on medication, make sure you get a medicine that tastes good. Make sure when you crush it in a mortar and pestle, that taste is good. Sprinkle it on your Frankenberry cereal or whatever the fuck you do. Kevin can't have Frankenberry because of the gout.
Yep.
But you can. Okay? All right, so we have a great show coming up.
Yes.
We are looking forward to having some laughs about the end of what we like to call civilization.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, we will be right back with Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.
take a deep breath and set your cares free with guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Hi everybody, and I just want to say namaste. Namaste everybody. Okay, I hope you have on a nice pair of yoga pants, preferably without a coffee stain, because the coffee that was served to you at a diner by a waitress who was having money problems, and she was so preoccupied with the fact that she was in chapter 11 that she spilled the coffee on your good yoga pants. Okay, let's now take a big in breath. I want you to breathe in the fact that you don't have money for dental work. Okay? I just want you to breathe down in. Just think of your teeth and think about how you're starting to feel real pain when you drink something cold, or you drink something hot, or you just crunch a peanut on a particular spot in your mouth, and the pain is so intense that you just want to put your hand in your mouth and rip some of the teeth out. Breathe that in, that you can't afford to go to the dentist, even a dentist who collapses, even a dentist who's kept in a vat of liquid. Okay, and now with your out breath, I want you to see yourself driving your Honda Civic into a lake. Driving your Honda Civic into a lake because the police are right on your tail, and you have in the car various unregistered guns. You have stolen ham and stolen salami from a military base. You also have a couple of illegal fireworks that you wanted to use for your grandchildren's 8th birthday party, but when you got to your grandchild's house, it was on fire because there was a domestic disturbance. Your daughter always married poorly, and again, she lost the house that you put money into because the person she married was completely out of his mind, and now your Honda Civic is floating into that lake, and you're going down with that car and you can't breathe. Breathe that out. Breathe that out that you can't breathe. I know that's a little confusing, but I want you to breathe that out. And now, with your in-breath, I want you to be absolutely terrified of the fact that you're standing next to a person who is showing you a very large knife with the words, "I kill for pleasure" on it. And just breathe that in, that you're standing next to a person who has a very large knife that says, "I kill for pleasure," and there's nowhere for you to go. He's got his other hand on your neck. And by the way, I hope you're in loose-fitting clothing, preferably flowing like a robe. Okay, breathe that in about the guy with the knife. And now, with your out breath, I want you to see yourself just crying in a long corridor where there's no light. But there's kind of a slime on the floor. You're crying in a long, dark corridor, no light, but there's a oozing slime on the floor, and you just got a new haircut, and you feel like everything's going to be ruined. You're in a nice pair of pants that you just ironed for the crease. The crease is there. I want you to breathe that in. And that ooze is slowly itching you. Breathe in the fact that when the ooze gets on your skin, you start itching like someone who's being bitten by mosquitoes in a mental institution. Okay? Mosquitoes that are lunatics. Mosquitoes that are nuts. Okay. And now, with your final out-breath, I want you to picture yourself coughing. You're coughing on something that got lodged in your throat, like a bird egg. Like you were so hungry because your rent was so high that you went out into the woods and found bird eggs. And you started eating one of the bird eggs, but then a baby robin popped out of one of the eggs into your throat, and now you're choking. Just breathe that out, that you're choking on a baby robin.
Thanks for joining us for Guided Meditation with Eddie Pepitone. And now, checking in with Al and Margret, a couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
Al, have you seen my bustier? What are you talking about, Margret? Al, what? Hold it. First of all, why the tone? What are you talking about? I just said, what are you talking about, Margret? Because I'm incredulous, darling baby, that you're asking me where's my bustier. First of all, I don't even know what a bustier is. Al, we're going out tonight to the opera. First of all, I had no idea we were going out to the opera. I thought we were two disembodied voices, living inside Eddie Pepitone. I'm the one who usually says that, and you always fight me on it. You're always saying, oh, no, Margret, we live in New Hampshire. Now, as soon as I want a bustier, as soon as I want to look good, you go to this goddamn thing that we're just two disembodied voices. If we're two disembodied voices, Al, then how come I want a bustier? Look, tell me what a bustier is, and even though we are just the goddamn, schizophrenic musings of a comic on the edge, I'll go find it. Why do you have to attack Eddie like that? Oh, now you're defending? Now you're defending the guy who created us? Is that what you're doing? Oh, I'm defending my creator. He's a broken comic, Margret. Don't you yell at Eddie. Margret, I am not yelling at Eddie. I am Eddie. Find my bustier. You don't have a bustier. You're a schizophrenic manifestation. Al, whenever I have tried to tell you this exact same thing, you start going, no, I'm a roofer. I'm a roofer in Massachusetts. I never said I was a roofer. And you know what, Margret? Eddie has been doing a lot of therapy, and he realizes that we are just schizophrenic manifestations. And I'll tell you something, Eddie should not have eaten peanuts before this bit because he's got some of the peanuts stuck in the back of his throat. Al, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I want the bustier. I want to go to the opera. We're going to see what's the name of that opera? We're going to see La Boheme. You know I don't like Italian operas, Margaret. What, do you want to see Wagner? I would love to see the Ring Cycle. You are kidding me. Look, don't tell me Wagner was a Nazi. No, I'm not implying that. I'm just saying the Ring Cycle, it just reminds me of doing laundry. I don't want to... What? What are you talking about? Jesus Christ. You know, being inside the mind of this broken comedian, it's really taxing on me, Margaret. And you know that I have a bad back from roofing. What did you just say? Oh, I know. That's right. I'm not roofing. I'm just a schizophrenic manifestation. Jesus Christ, Margaret. I'm sorry. I didn't... Margaret, Eddie's having a relapse. He believes we're real. Well, if he believes we're real, let's go to the opera. Here's your bustier. Let's go, Margaret. Let's grab a Lyft or an Uber or an Instacart or a Bloodmobile. Let's just go, Maggie. Oh, Al, I love you when you call me by my nickname. Kiss me, you non-existent hunk.
And thanks for joining us for another episode of Checking In with Al and Margret, a couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head. And now another episode of Eddie Pepitone's Children's Stories.
Okay, kids, come on, everybody. Gather round. Gather around, come on. Come on. Julie, come on. Let's go. Stop hitting Tammy. And Johnny, come on. Let's go. Here we go. Okay, now here is the story, kids. And I really, this took place in New Jersey. It's a place called Bayonne. Bayonne, New Jersey. It was in an industrial part of New Jersey, and the air pollution there was incredibly despicable.
Air pollutions?
Yeah, it just, this Bayonne, New Jersey was so polluted, kids, that people started growing another arm out of their back.
Oh my God.
But the resourcefulness of the people of Bayonne was that they were able to slap people with their back.
Wow.
Their back arm, they called it. They called it third arm. A lot of people, a lot of psychics, kids, have third eyes, or Buddhists say that the third eye is in the middle of your forehead. But what the Buddhists didn't talk about was the third arm, which was created by chemicals in an industrial corridor of New Jersey called Bayonne. Now, there was a diner in Bayonne.
I like diners.
Yeah, and this diner served radioactive eggs from the plastic company. The plastic companies that existed in Bayonne, you know, they would not get rid of their waste in a safe way. They would just let it run into the water and run into the water table, and it would seep into the farms in Bayonne.
Tables?
Where the chickens already were completely poisoned, but now with the plastic runoff, the eggs were radioactive that came from these chickens, and the farmers couldn't afford to throw the eggs away. And the diner, the Bayonne diner, would say to people, yes, these eggs glow. And that was their selling point.
Whoa.
Yeah, a blue glow it was.
Wow.
And, but then everybody started dying, and then the people of Bayonne were dead.
Oh, no.
Thanks for joining us for another Eddie Pepitone's Children's Stories Corner. now join us for another Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.
I lit my cigarette as I got into my beautiful, beautiful, just vacuumed Honda Civic. All of a sudden, the sun was blocked by the clouds. You know how you get cock-blocked at a party? This is what the clouds were doing to the sun. They were cock-blocking a beautiful day. And the rain started coming down, and I was in my Honda Civic with the lit cigarette, and the ash was falling on my new Patagonia pants. And they kind of caught fire a little bit, and I stomped it out, but the rain was coming down so freaking hard. The rain was coming down like a million, like it was like some sick photographer had thrown a billion cameras. A sick photographer had thrown a billion cameras off an overpass. The rain was just hitting my car like all these Nikons and cameras just hitting. I don't know any brands of cameras because I just use the iPhone camera now, but it was just hitting my car, which I use for Uber, Instacart, Lyft, Bloodmobile, Bookmobile. I do some therapy in the car. I've been making extra money. Mental health is a big thing in this country, and this rain was not sane. This rain was insane, and I couldn't hardly see out of the window, but I did manage to see a beautiful, beautiful golden retriever limping across the road. I had a swerve in the rain, and my car hydroplaned. I missed the golden retriever, which I felt bad about. I hadn't hit a retriever in a long time, and I thought it would be good for me to hit a retriever just to feel good again. But I missed it, and I hydroplaned, and the car went over an embankment, and all my candies, I keep a lot of butterscotch candies in my vehicle because I get dry in the throat. It's here in LA, and it gets so goddamn dry. And I would have these butterscotch candies, and they all went flying except one. And I took the last butterscotch candy, I popped it in my mouth while I was smoking a cigarette, and I put the car in drive 1. It's right below drive. I don't know what drive 1 means, but it got me out of this little hole I was in, and I got back on the 405 South. There was no traffic because the rain was coming down. It was coming down faster than a virus could infect a room full of idiots who didn't wear a mask because they're squawking about freedom. That's how hard, that's how fast this rain was coming down. This rain was spreading faster than monkeypox on steroids. I was afraid of getting a monkeypox, so I lit up another cigarette because I read, my friends sent me a link to an article that said if you chain smoke, monkeypox goes nowhere near you, and I kept driving into the night. The slashing rain would just slash and hit my car, and it would make a sound that sounded like the ex-wife asking me for money. It made a sound like a fish being thrown against concrete. All that chain smoking was starting to get to me, but I didn't want no monkeypox. here in my Honda Civic. I was driving toward a fair-haired woman who had called the Uber app. I got a picture of her, and she was gorgeous. They put a picture up on the app, and I said, I'll take it. And I pulled up. She was standing just covered in soot. Apparently she was a chimney sweep. She was a chimney sweep, and I had no idea that this gorgeous woman would have to resort to chimney sweeping to pay her rent. She got in the car and we both started coughing because all that soot from chimneys. I said to her, my God, does it pay well, the chimney sweeping? She just looked at me and lit her own cigarette. It was like a black hefty bag lighting a cigarette. She was a white woman because there was part of her. She brushed part of her face away and she said, please, just take me to where my hose is. She just wanted to hose herself down. I said, it's raining like cats and dogs and pigs and elephants. I never understood the cat and dog metaphor of rain, you know. To me, it was raining like pigs and fucking cougar, you know, pigs and jackals. You ever see a hyena? It was raining like hyenas and hippos, you know. It was really bad. All of a sudden, I looked in the back of the car and she had a gun to her head, and I said, don't, not in the car. I just vacuumed it. You've already fucked it up with soot. She said, I can't take it anymore. I said, I'll get you to the fucking hose. Don't worry about it. Have a butterscotch candy. As I reached for the butterscotch, I realized there weren't any. They had all went flying out after the hydroplaning. Luckily, I did have a berry. One berry I had, it was covered in lint, but I took the berry. I said, do you mind a raspberry covered in lint? She said, is it organic? I said, what, do I look like an idiot? Of course it is. I'm not going to eat inorganic fruit. I tossed her a berry, but she pulled the trigger anyway. Her brains went splattering like JFK's brains all over my just recently vacuumed Honda Civic. Her torso just was flopping around in the back seat. I decided to call it a night because I had to clean out the fucking car again. I thought to myself, Eddie, is this really how you want to make a living? Maybe you should be an airplane pilot or a NASA engineer. And then I realized I don't have the education for that. So I drove in the rain to get the car cleaned.
Thanks for joining us for another Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone. And now a message from our sponsor, Eddie Pepitone's Topical Ointment.
Hi, I'm Butch Johnson, and I'm the person distributing Pepitone's ointment. It's in stores 2055. We are taking our time. We are taking our time with this ointment. It's an inflammation ointment that Eddie Pepitone has developed. You put on the ointment wherever you're inflamed. Okay? Whether it's your shoulder joint, your arm, your leg, wherever you get inflamed. I happen to get inflamed at the top of my head. And so you put it anywhere and the inflammation increases. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. I want an ointment that decreases the inflammation because inflammation is pain. That is not the goddamn theory here. Eddie has been studying medicine now with this guy named Lou. A guy named Lou who lives near a truck stop. And Lou is sure that if your inflammation increases, it will go up to a level that is so painful that you will not have pain anymore. Now follow me. This inflammation will get so painful that your inflammation and your pain threshold will be gone because your pain threshold will be so high. It's like being in war. I have a bad inflamed throat right now, and by the time 2055 comes, this ointment will be ready. Right now, we are taking out all of the impurities of the ointment at this truck stop. It's near a Michigan winery. This truck stop is near the Michigan winery called, it produces a Beaujolais near Flint. It's not very good, the wine, but the ointment is. So please look for this Pepitone ointment coming out 2055, okay? I'm sure there still will be parts of America left. Maybe in the middle of the country, the coastal areas will be gone. But Pepitone ointment, it will inflame whatever inflammation you have to a point where you will no longer give a fuck about the inflammation. So go now. In actually 33 years. In 33 years, put it on a calendar. 2055, Pepitone ointment. We're not sure what month yet.
Pepitone ointment. Pick up yours today, or July 2055 at Rite Aid if it's still around.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to Apocalypse Soon. And did you have a good time, Kev?
I did. I always have a great time.
I know you do. I know you do. Me and you, this podcast studio here at All Things Comedy with our engineer, Ann Brunkard, if I'm pronouncing that right. I've only known him a few years. I have no idea what anybody's name is.
Takes you about a decade to get the last name right. I get it.
A decade at least. This podcast studio for us here at All Things Comedy is a refuge, where we can kind of exercise our demons.
Absolutely.
And I don't exercise myself, so it's good to at least exercise demons, right?
You got to burn some of those demonic calories, you know what I mean?
Burn some of those demonic calories. So remember, folks, write a review. Right? Tell them where they can write a review.
You go to anywhere you listen to the podcast. Okay. There's going to be a review section. iTunes is great, right? It's a review there. Leave us 5 stars. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, go do that. We're actually realizing that we're not pushing the YouTube. So go to the YouTube, subscribe. There's going to be full-length episodes of this podcast. If you're listening, you can see the video. And then we also put, I've got little sections for guided meditation on there and for driving in the rain. And I'm going to put some playlists together for you guys to check that out. And then go to Patreon, subscribe on the Patreon. You got
Please subscribe to Patreon and, donate. And you get some, we put recently one of my stand-up sets just for Patreon members and stuff like that.
A full 20-minute set.
It was a full 20-minute set. Hopefully that'll hold the Patreon people for a while.
Yeah. Well, when you're out on the road, we can get some more of those videos.
I will tape some of my sets for Patreon.
Hell yeah. And then, you going, taking your pills in the morning or any B-roll, we want.
And I think we should start having a little clips of you too on there. Perhaps maybe you playing miniature golf with the family.
That would be good.
Or treating your gout or whatever it is.
We had just a long time lapse of me with my foot on a stool, editing in my living room,
People may pay not to see that. It depends on how we market this stuff.
I'm asking my wife to make me another coffee, Honey, please, my gout, my ankle hurts so bad.
Also, EddiePepitone.com. for my tour dates. I gave them up top, but go there. And what do you want to promote, Kev?
Check out Kevin Tinkin on Instagram. I got all the stuff I'm working on there, and then shows coming up and all that good stuff. But yeah,
Great. All right, everybody. Thanks again for listening or watching on YouTube. Spread the word that, Apocalypse Soon is the place to be. All right. We'll see you soon on Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.